Hello and welcome to my tiny tarot practice. I'm Amelia Fruby, and on this show, we journey through the tarot card by card. This is the fifth and final season of the show, and we're currently exploring the major arcana. This season is presented by Tarot for Creative Spirits by Cecily Saylor, and there is an exclusive discount code for you in the show notes if you'd like to purchase a copy. Today's card is Strength. In the Rider-Waite-Smith edition of the tarot, the Strength card features a lion and a person dressed in a white gown with a belt of flowers stroking the lion's head, and the lion's tongue is out licking their hand. This person also has on a flower crown, and the infinity symbol floats above their head. There are mountains and trees in the background, and it's a really beautiful, almost bucolic scene in many ways, at least in my interpretation. In our contemporary society, strength is often associated with outward shows of power, of physical strength, of brute force, of aggressiveness even. But in the tarot, strength comes to us as what Cecily Saylor calls gentle courage. In this card, we see themes of endurance and soft power. And rather than strength being displayed by power over the lion or the lion having power over the person in the card, they in fact are brought together in a moment of softening. There seems to be an adoring gaze between them, and the strength comes from that loving relation, not from domination. In Rachel Pollack's interpretation of the tarot, the Strength card begins the second line, which is the journey within toward the true self and the subconscious. Where the Chariot saw the outward display of willpower, Strength takes us within. Rachel Pollack argues that the charioteer had a very conscious and direct orientation toward power and was always moving from one place to another by choice. But strength is about allowing our inner passions to emerge and lead us forward, rather than directing them where we think we might want to go. I love how Jessa Crispin writes about this in the Creative Tarot, where she says, "There are times when we need strength, which is getting what we want by standing perfectly still, by being open and receptive, and by daring to be vulnerable. We want the lion to come sit in our lap, and so we will sit very quietly and wait for it. We can't overpower it. We can't force it to do what we want. So we will sit here patiently, calmly, until the lion feels safe enough to approach. Strength, therefore, is a card of endurance. You show your strength through weathering difficult circumstances and by outlasting fear." This feels so resonant with the High Priestess for me, and especially some of what Grace Allardyce shared in our conversation about the High Priestess mysteries. That in our society, we are trained to go out and get what we want. We are often encouraged to embody the chariot or become the charioteer. But we are less often invited to stay very still and draw in what we desire. That is the power of the High Priestess, as Grace reminded us. And here, Jessa Crispin sees that again in strength. I also love what Maria Menace says about strength in Tarot for the Hard Work, arguing that in liberation work, strength plays a really beautiful role. She writes, "The resilient strength character is gently powerful in evoking the best out of themselves and their comrades. They don't steamroll, they collaborate. Their power isn't rigid or controlling. It is empathic. To exemplify the Strength card is to know the difference between niceness and kindness. Being nice aims to please and satisfy expectations, while being kind is about genuine benevolence. Defending marginalized people often does not look nice. The kindness shows up in our fight when we break harmful systems, when we sacrifice privilege for those who are afforded less. Kindness can be rage in evolutionary action. Strength isn't concerned about making everyone happy. They aim to do the right thing. Kindness is a strength." And that, I think, is what I'm always taking away from this card. that kindness is a strength, as Maria Menace reminds us, that strength can be a soft power, that strength can be an inner resource, that strength can be a matter of endurance and receptivity rather than that brute force that I mentioned at the very beginning. If strength is kindness, then when we pull this card in our reading, we can consider to whom we're being called to be kind. It could be ourselves. It could be someone we know. It could be a marginalized group in society. It could be society itself or the earth itself. There are so many ways we can channel our kindness, channel our strength, and make deep, everlasting change in the world. Not in the chariot's way of getting from here to that different world, but in the way of strength and the high priestess, of envisioning and bringing that world to life exactly where we are. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of My Tiny Tarot Practice. This season of the show is sponsored by Tarot for Creative Spirits by Cecily Saylor, which is a beautiful book that takes you through the tarot card by card, including prompts, creative exercise, and magical spells for each card in the tarot. The book itself feels so imbued with strength to me, and if you enjoy this show, I think that it will really resonate with you. You can head to the show notes to get an exclusive discount code and purchase your copy today. For now, I send you on your way with kindness, courage, and strength.